everyone. My name is Christy Miller, and I am the regional educator for Matrix here in Southern California. And today we are going to talk all things social media, but really those things that make social media frustrating, like understanding analytics, how to read them, and most importantly, how to utilize them for the things we want to get from social media. So before we start, I am going to let you know that feel free to drop any questions in the chat. I am also following along so that I can respond if you have any questions. So first and foremost, when we talk social media for this class, we're going to most exclusively be talking about Instagram. However, we can also talk TikTok, but most of this is going to be focused on Instagram and how to read their analytics. So, first things first, for social media and for promotion, there are a couple of things to think about what you want your social media page to do for you. So, before you even dive into analytics, the first thing you want to think about is what is the purpose of my social media? Are you using your social media strictly to gain new clients? Are you using social media because you want to make deals with brands, possibly be an ambassador, get sent some free product for you to use it and tag it in your videos? Or are you trying to monetize it and make it a third separate job? Because being an ambassador and monetizing are not always the same things. So first things first, you have to have a clear plan of what you want your social media to be. And then in order to do that, if you want to be a creator of any kind, you need to make sure that your Instagram profile is set at creator. So you want to make sure that you are in fact a business or a creator, because a business would be like what the salon would be listed as. Yourself would be listed as a creator, and that is going to open up the door for a couple of things. Number one, you will have a analytics profile on your Instagram. So you need to think about, how is your Instagram set up? Is it set up as a business or as a creator? Are you looking to just promote your salon and get chairs or get butts in your chair? Or are you looking to monetize your social media and figure out how to make money from this as a separate category, not including what you do in the salon? So in order to do that, again, you have to make sure that it is set up the proper way. And the easiest way to do that on Instagram is for you to be set as a creator. Again, this is going to give you access to analytics. It's going to tell Instagram that you are serious about the things you're posting, and your end goal is to build a bigger platform. So when you do this, how do you know if you are set up as a creator? Number one, you're going to go to your Instagram profile. And when you go into edit your profile, you can see how you're listed as. It gives you a ton of options. You can connect or create, or under category, it's going to say artist, musician, band, blogger, clothing, community, all kinds of options. You want to choose artist. Really, that's the best way to do it, because it gives you a really broad range and category to choose from. It's allowing you to build something unique that doesn't necessarily have to fall into certain categories. From there, the next thing you want to focus on is your bio easy to read and follow? So your bio should include who you are. A lot of people have gone away from listing where they work and their address in their bio, and that's a personal choice, because a lot of the reasons people have done this, they've taken out listing their salon and city, because there's usually a book me tab. So there's some way within Instagram, there is a link to add in a booking tab or a link to a separate booking. So you maybe don't need to list your salon, but you do want to make sure people know who you are, where you're from, and what you specialize in. So you want to make sure in your bio it lets people know, what's your name? What should they call you? I always am a little frustrated when I follow someone on Instagram and they have a really cool Instagram name, but it's not like a name you would call a person in person. So if your Instagram name is really cool and something fun, but I wouldn't necessarily call you that when we're meeting live, it would be nice if your Instagram bio also includes your name or what you prefer to be called. This is really where you get to introduce yourself. So just like if we were in person meeting, this is where you want to include how you want people to connect with you. So your bio should include your name, what you want them to do, or a call to action. So do you want them to click that booking link in your bio? Do you want them to click on your link tree like a lot of people are utilizing now? And as a side note, Linktree is really easy. There is a free program for it, and you can have multiple links on your Linktree versus one, which is why people prefer it these days. You also want to make sure they know where you are. Are you accepting new clients? Are you accepting new clients, but maybe only Vivid clients or maybe only curly haired clients? Do you specialize in anything? Are you certified in anything? These are the things that should be listed in your bio. And again, that call to action, making sure people know how to connect with you in the way you prefer. That's really what your Instagram bio is. It's letting them know who you are and how they can connect with you. Once you have that all set, you can move on and you can start looking at your professional dashboard. Now, if your Instagram is not currently set up as a creator, you will not have a professional dashboard. So if you are just now switching it over to a creator, that professional dashboard is going to take some time. But the good news is the more you post, the quicker you get those analytics. And those analytics live within the professional dashboard. So before we move into the dashboard and how to read it, there are a couple of things that you want to make sure you are thinking about when you're posting. So number one, one of the biggest questions I get all the time is, what do I post? And it's easy to feel overwhelmed, right? If we all scroll social media, it's very easy for us to start thinking like, well, I don't do that, or that person is so much better at this than I am. But really, all you have to do is remember my personal favorite quote, and it's from Dita Von Teese, and she says, "You can be the ripest, juiciest peach in the world, and there is still going to be someone who does not like peaches." And I love this quote because, especially for someone like me, maybe you're like me, it's easy to get overwhelmed by all of the content creators out there who are doing amazing work and start to feel like, well, what do I post? And the answer is whatever you want, because you are you, and that is what is drawing people to your page. The number one piece of advice I could give you is being authentic will make your page so memorable that people will keep coming back. When you just are who you are, people who want to connect with you will be drawn to you. So don't worry about copying anyone. Don't worry about doing the most tried and true, like TikTok dances or the most, trending Instagram reels. More than anything, you want to be authentic to who you are. Are you someone who does those dances? Great. That's wonderful. Put those on your page. Are you someone who wants to connect about the science of hair color chemistry and hair? Are you someone who loves posting silly, funny memes? Keep doing that, and the people who are drawn to you and are drawn to that type of personality will find you. Again, I always, when I'm thinking about social media, I refer back to who do I follow and why do I follow them. Not everyone I follow is a hairstylist, but I love to connect with people who are authentic and real and honest. And so if that's what I'm following, I know that that is going to tell me that that's who wants to follow me as well. So the number one thing you can do on your social media page is to be authentic and who you are, because people know, right? You know when someone's being authentic and you know when someone's faking it, and people want to connect with real people. So with that, do whatever you're comfortable with. If you're not comfortable dancing in front of your camera, don't do it. Do the things that are comfortable to you, and know that all of these things are going to tell you who your audience is. So when we go through and we're trying to look at what are our analytics telling us, the first thing we're going to do is go to our page, and on our profile it will say professional dashboard. Your professional dashboard is where Instagram puts all the information you need. So this is where you're going to find how well your posts do, whether you're posting reels or carousels or single pictures with music. Number one, as a side note, I would highly, highly recommend always using music in your videos, in your reels, in your carousels, even if it's a single picture. Instagram rewards people using audio in their post, no matter what kind of post it is. The other thing that Instagram has started doing in your professional dashboard is giving you tips and tricks. So you might not have it yet in your professional dashboard, but if you go into it and you start utilizing all of these things Instagram has given you, they're going to start rewarding you for utilizing them. So when you go into your tips and tricks, it's going to tell you what types of reels are trending, what audio is trending. Instagram also will have videos telling you exactly what they're looking for in the videos that they are pushing. So when you start to look at these things, I would say the tips and tricks are probably where I'm going to focus most if I am building my page. If I am wanting to utilize Instagram to make me more money, to monetize, to give me those brand deals, right? I'm going to start looking at what does Instagram reward, because what Instagram rewards is going to be pushed on the For You page most often. And so when I look at that, I'm able to see what is my trending analytics. So what videos of mine are doing the best and how do they compare to the videos and types of posts that Instagram is rewarding. So in your professional dashboard, if you look at it, you can change it from the last 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, or a year. If you've posted a lot, going back a whole year takes up a lot of room. I generally do between 60 and 90 days because that's going to tell me at least the last 3 months and how my posts have performed. From there, you can look at your views. This tells us how many people have viewed your content, and Instagram breaks it down in between followers and non-followers. So you can see based on your posts who is actually watching your posts, who's interacting with them, who's liking them, who's commenting. All of that information Instagram captures in your professional dashboard. You can go down and look further and dig a little bit deeper into what types of followers or non-followers are engaging with your posts. You can also see by top content. So this takes it outside of how often it was posted and looks into the most engaged with content. So I can go back and see in my last 30 days what my top content was engaged with. I can see what got the most likes, what got the most views, and what got the most engagement, meaning comments to my posts or reshares or saved. So I can see all of that, and then I can start to track what are people connecting with. Is it the same types of reels? Is it the same types of posts? For me personally, if we were to dig into my analytics, surprisingly for me, my analytics show me that my posts where I talk do the best. So my engagement, my community does not care about a very beautiful picture of hair. For some reason, my community loves a video where I am talking. So even though I personally hate my voice and feel the need to apologize to anyone who's ever listened to me in a video talk, people love that and connect with it. And what that tells me is that the group of people who follow me and engage with me most prefer me. They prefer me over polish. They prefer me over a beautiful picture of some hair I've done. They love to hear me talk for some reason. Don't know why. Probably because I am authentic. So because of that, I'm able to go back and look at all of my analytics and say, these are the things that all of these posts have in common. And I'm able to drill down and create content a little bit better. So let's say 6 months ago I started this. I actually started a lot longer than this, but say 6 months ago, I start to look and see that, hey, every post that has my face in it or my video in it is doing really well. But maybe don't want to talk about myself. Maybe I want to talk about the hair that I'm doing or the products that I'm using. So my analytics and reading them are going to help me see that it's not necessarily what I'm talking about, it's that I'm showing my face. So I did a small science experiment, not really sciencey, but I did a small experiment where I tracked my analytics and I realized, is it my face or is it my voice that people actually are following? And so what I did was I created a reel in which it featured me prominently. I decided to do a post about me and who I am outside of hair, outside of what people normally see me in. And I did a whole reel. It was just about me outside of work and who I am and what I prefer to do. This reel got the least engagement and interaction out of any post I've posted before. And what my analytics showed me was that, yes, even though this post had my face all up in it, when I looked at the engagement was down. And the thing I had done differently was I had taken my voice out of it. So really what these analytics told me was it was my voice and not my face that people are connecting with. So as much as that hurt my feelings a little bit, I realized that it wasn't my face, it was my voice that people connected with. It's the way I talk. It's what I was doing. So when I read my analytics and dig deep, what I've started to realize is it's not necessarily my face, it's my voice and what I am saying and how I am saying it. So this allowed me to change my content and realize that I can make content with pictures of hair, with pictures of product, with all the things I wanted to show and showcase and talk about, but it needed my voice. It needed me talking about it behind the scenes. Then I posted a second reel with just that. It was a picture of hair, and I broke down what I was doing, why I used the products I used, why I put the placement and what I placed. And within 3 months, I was able to see that that reel, based on my analytics, had done better than any of my other reels I had posted in the last 3 months. So, what this lets us know is when we are looking at our analytics, it doesn't just tell us, yeah, someone in LA follows me and they like my content. What this tells me is the type of content people want to see from me. This allows me to drill down and say, on Monday, at noon is when my content does best. So if I know that my content does best on a Monday at noon, I am able to look and say and plan my social media posts better. I'm able to say, I know what people want from me. I know what time they want it. I know what day they want it. And now it's up to me to make sure that that content gets delivered to them regularly and consistently. Because with social media, I would say consistency is going to be your number one piece of advice that's going to keep your content views up. It's going to keep your community engaged. If your community knows when to expect content from you, it doesn't matter if you post once a week, twice a week, or every day of the week, which I personally think is a little exhausting. So you know that no matter when you post, it's getting out to your people because you have used your analytics to make sure that your content is being pushed to your community and getting engagement with it. So one of the other things we can read besides our views and our engagement when we look at our professional dashboard and analytics is we can also We can also look at our monthly recap. So, Instagram has it based on insights and your tools. So, insights are all the analytics. These are what is telling you, again, who's viewing you, who's interacting with you. Are they followers or non followers? It shows you how many new followers you have and if anyone has unfollowed you. It's going to show you content you've shared, all of those things. Then you move into your tools, and your tools is really all of the tools that Instagram is giving you to make your content not better, but have more engagement. So, this is essentially Instagram giving you the behind the scenes of what content they're pushing. So they will give you a monthly recap. It will tell you out of everything you've posted versus stories or reels or posts, whether it's a carousel or a single post, it's going to break it down month by month. So depending on when you've started your creator page, it's going to show you that whole month wrapped up. It's going to tell you which post did the best, how many you posted of each content. So whether it was a reel, whether it was a carousel, whether it was a single post or a story, it's going to break down all of that. Then you have best practices. Again, this is where Instagram is essentially telling you what they are focusing on and what they are pushing on the For You page. So if you love to do reels, great news, because Instagram loves for us to do reels as well. Instagram is also now pushing carousel posts with music attached to it. So, does your music have to be up at 100%? No, you can turn that music down and do a voiceover, but the music attached to the post is what they are pushing. And I know that because I went into my Instagram tools and looked at best practices. There's an inspiration tag. So you can click on the inspiration link and it'll show you the type of content they're posting or the type of content that is similar to what you're already delivering and just what they're looking for. So to me, this is the same as scrolling Instagram and looking to see what videos are popping. What is Instagram rewarding? This is a really easy way to stay up to date on what Instagram prefers. Then you've got your ad tools, your trial reels. These are all monetized through Instagram where they're going to push your videos a little bit more. It's slightly different from a more grassroots Instagram version. I am not here to tell you whether or not to do that. To each their own. If you feel there is value in that, go ahead and do it. I see it no different as paying for ad time like old school commercials back in the day on TV, right? So if you know that everyone is on this and you maybe want to try seeing if it'll boost your numbers, you can absolutely do that. And Instagram will walk you through step by step on how to do that as well. Then you can go through and basically see on the very bottom of your professional dashboard is your tips and resources guide. This is going to show you the two most important things on Instagram, the trending audio, and then other helpful resources where it's just a guide for anything that Instagram thinks you may need or use on your page. But trending audio, there's a couple of things to think about. Number one, if it's trending, that means that it's being used in more and more reels, more and more videos, more and more carousel posts. And it's probably going to be music that you've heard. For instance, this morning I got up on Instagram and Taylor Swift's The Life and Death of Ophelia. I may have said that wrong. I apologize, T Swift, but that was the number one trending audio for me this morning on Instagram. So whether or not we're a fan, we can absolutely still use the music in our audio. You can use it in a story, you can use it in a post. But Instagram is going to reward the use of trending audio because these are the things that they're seeing the most return on investment if you think of social media that way. And I do. Social media definitely needs to be a return on investment. So, whatever you are using it for, you want to see a return on it, right? If you're using Instagram to build clientele, you want to see clients booking through Instagram. You want to see people finding you through Instagram. If you're utilizing Instagram to connect with other stylists, you want to start to see more and more stylists following you, right? So Instagram has to know where to put you in order to make sure that the people you're trying to find are able to find you. And the whole way they do this is by understanding you and what your purpose is. So the way we do that is by making sure that what we're posting matches with what we're trying to gain. If I am trying to build clientele with Instagram, but I'm not posting any pictures of my clients, I'm not telling people how to book. Maybe everything I'm posting in my stories is about my really cool weekend away and out of town. That's not really telling Instagram who it is I'm trying to connect with. But if all of my posts say, click the link in my bio to book with me, or click my link tree to go to my website, Instagram is going to know that I am trying to gain viewers and have people click this link. So they're going to start sending it to people who are consuming Instagram and searching when they're going into their For You page and searching like LA hairstylists or Southern California hairstylists. Instagram will know to push my content to them. But if I'm not doing these things, Instagram doesn't know that that's what I want from it. Think of Instagram if you've been on Netflix, or if you're my age and you used TiVo back in the day, and you can curate what you want to pop up. So when you watch a TV show on Netflix or really any of the streaming services, right? It will tell you, because you watched this program, you may be interested in these programs. That's what your For You page on Instagram is. It's basically recommended content based on what you're consuming and searching. So as a creator, we have to take a step back and think, what does this tell me? This tells me that I have to be very clear in my content that I am creating and in my captions as well. My captions will need to stress that I am easy to book. There's a link in my bio. Don't you want to hit that? All of these things are going to help us know what content we should be sharing. So because of that, when we go back to our analytics, we're going to look a little bit deeper. If we go into our content, our followers and non-followers, we can see who's following us, where they're from, and what content they prefer. It tells you, are they following stories? Are they following posts? Are they following reels? All of these things are going to help you know what people are connecting with. For instance, if we read my analytics, my followers prefer my stories. That's where I get the most engagement. I was shocked to find that out, but my followers prefer my stories. These are cute little bites. I think they're cute. They're bite-sized interactions where I talk to people. I tell them about my day. What has my day been like? What is my next day going to look like? It's very quick, bite-sized information, but it feels like maybe you're texting a friend. Whereas my non-followers overwhelmingly prefer my posts. So my posts are a little less personal. My posts tend to show where I'm going to be teaching or educating, what type of content I'll be sharing in those classes. And that's what non-followers are following more often and engaging with. Then you can also look, who is your audience? So I'm still down in my views in my analytics on Instagram. If you scroll down, you can look by audience. So it'll tell you, who are your top cities? So who are the people that engage with you most and where do they live? This is what this is telling you. A good reason this is important is because now, ideally, I would have the most followers from where I live, but that does not always happen. Maybe I have followers in another time zone or in another country, and I want to make sure that they see my content as well as the people who are following me locally. And so what that means is when I think about what time I'm posting, am I posting in my time zone? Am I posting in the main majority of my followers' time zone? And are those time zones the same? So I personally post from my time zone because the majority of my followers are from Southern California. So I know that we're all on the same time zone. But there was a time when the majority of my followers and the people who engaged with my content the most were on the East Coast. So I planned to post my content 3 hours earlier than I normally would. And what I saw happen was I knew what time my local people would follow me and engage with that content. And then I would post it 3 hours sooner than what the local people would engage with because I wanted to make sure that those East Coast people were engaging with it as well. And so what happened was I would get a good amount of engagement from my East Coast followers. And then 3 hours later, I would get another bump in my content engagement because it would be all the people that were on the same time zone as I was. Now, when I looked at this, what started to happen was that my the people on the same time zone as me started to connect with my content earlier and earlier. They started to realize that they were following something that had been posted for 3 hours and they were going in earlier and connecting with it. So really at the end of the day, it boosted my engagement overall because I was getting more engagements earlier and then I'd get a second boost 3 hours later from everyone that was on my same time zone. Now, you can also look at top age ranges. And I know for some of this might feel a little weird because why does it matter how old someone is? So if we look at our engagement, it's going to tell us a couple of things. Number one, who's connecting with you and why? Are you someone who specifically speaks a more mature stylist verbiage? Are you someone who's been around a while? Like maybe you have been promoting yourself through pictures, but prior to social media, it was actually taking pictures to a camera shop and getting those pictures printed, and you would have an album of all of your work on your station in the salon. Yes, for those of you who are young, that is what we used to do back in the day. So maybe pictures have always been something that you've done, but now it's at a new format. Maybe now you are trying to rebuild. This is going to tell you, are people your age connecting with you or are people younger? Are people following you because they are looking for your advice? Maybe they are curious about how you made it through all the things you did and they're looking for advice. They're looking to you almost as a mentor. Maybe it's people your exact age who are going through the same things you're going through. Are they people who maybe it's across a wide range, but this is who's going to tell you who's following you by city, by country, by age range, and by gender. It breaks down by gender as well. So you're able to really dig deep and see who's following your content, who's connecting with it, and it just gives us a better sense of how to curate our content so that the people who connect with us most continue to connect with us. For example, if I look at mine, I see that the most people who follow me are women, and they are in the age range of 25 to 45. So that's a pretty wide group, but what that tells me is that it's a lot of women, and they're most likely fellow hairstylists because that's who I curate my content towards. I am not personally, I am not building my chair. I am building a community. And so because of that, I know the age range and I make sure to follow content creators in those same age ranges. Then you can look at your profile activity. That is the very last down in your views, your profile visits, and your external link taps. So your external link taps are all of the people who have clicked on that link in your bio, either that Book Me tab or your link tree or whatever tab you have in there. People, how many times have people clicked it, right? So that is our call to action. If we are building a clientele, we definitely want them hitting that book me tab, right? So it's going to tell you how many people have found you based on this link. Your profile visits is going to tell you how many people have visited your profile, and then it gives you a date range. Again, that can be changed between the last 30, 60, 90 days, and then I believe up to a year. Then, if you go into interactions, interactions is different from views, right? Interactions are telling me who is actually engaging with the content, who is watching it for at least 30 seconds, who is maybe saving it, who is maybe sharing it to a friend. This is, again, going to tell you by interaction. So, is it a story? Is it a post? Is it a reel? How many replies did you have? So, if I posted in a story and I said, click on the link to watch the whole reel, it's going to tell me how many people clicked on that link. If it is a reel, and it's going to tell me how many likes my reel had, how many saves it had, because saves count as engagement. And this is where our call to action really comes into play. So if I post a reel and it is a post that I want people to engage with, maybe it's a post about a event I have coming up and I want people to RSVP to this event. I am going to, in the post, say, click, save this post and click the link in my bio. And that's telling them how I want them to engage with me, how I want them to play in this arena for this post. When those 30 days are up, I can click on my interactions, and I can go down to that reel and I can see how many likes and how many saves it got, and it will tell me how many people are actually engaging with the content I post, because views is how many people saw it, interactions is how many people engaged with it. Now, it's possible to have a reel with a ton of views, but very little engagement. If you don't tell people how you want them to play or interact with you, all they're going to do is watch your content. The goal is always to get views to turn into interactions. So we don't want people just watching our content. We want them engaging with it as well. We want people to click on links. We want them to save stories. We want them to engage with us. We want them to comment. Sometimes you'll see people say things like, how, comment your favorite, colored heart below, or if you love this product, or if you love this hair, give me a heart in the chat below, or tell me what your favorite product is in the chat below. So you'll see this a lot. It's basically telling people how you want them to engage with you. And this will all be found, your metrics will all be found in the interactions in your professional dashboard. Making sure there's no questions in the chat. All right. So then we know where to find our interactions. We know where to find our views. Then we can look at the content we shared. So again, this is going to tell us based on what we shared, what people are engaging with. So we can do it by all. You can watch your content for everything you've posted. You can look at just your post, just your reels, just your stories, just your videos, or your live videos. So it can break down each type of content, or it could just break down all of your content. Again, you can go by last 30 days, last 3 months, last 6 months, last year. They even have an option for last 2 years. That's a lot of content to dig through. However, if you've not been following your analytics, this might be a really interesting way to look and see how the community has progressed with you and what they prefer. And then again, you can drill down by your highest view or your lowest, or you can look by your metrics of views, account reached, follows, or shares. Especially shares is really good to look at, especially if you've done a call to action where you ask them to share the content, and it'll show you how many people have shared your content. Which is what you want. So in the call to action, you could say, share this and tag two friends. I've seen lots of people in the hair industry say, like, share this and tag two people who have influenced your career for the better or a positive, or who's someone you look up to. And it's getting more views on your content. And it's allowing more reach. So if I just look at your content, I'm only one view. But then if I share it with multiple people, everyone who follows me is now going to also see the content that I've shared. So it's giving you more reach. And really, that's a call to action that you want to encourage, is share or save the content, comment. My best advice would be to choose one. If all of this feels really overwhelming, if you're sitting there and you're thinking, Christy, my page wasn't even set up as a creator, and now you're asking me to view metrics and analytics, focus on one thing, right? What's that saying? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So you're going to sit and focus on one thing. So for me personally, I chose what is something I can commit to doing regularly. I like reels. That's just personal. I really like reels. I like watching them, engaging with them. And for me, it was really easy to focus on how to create them because I knew reels was what Instagram was focusing on. So I made a commitment to myself to focus on reels and get to know them really well. There are many tools Instagram will give you to help you along the way. I would say focus on one thing you can do well and one type of analytics. So maybe you want people to view but comment. So in all of your content that you're going to share, your call to action consistently is going to get people to comment on your content. So in every caption, it's going to say, maybe there's a question or a call to action, but what you're trying to do is drive people to comment on your content so that you get that engagement up. Once you start to see a return on those comments, people are commenting, and now they're commenting without you even having to put a call to action. Then you focus on your next one. Okay, now I want people to share. I want people to share my comment. Maybe it's something like, share this content and I'll do a raffle, and whoever, I'll draw someone and they get a free deep condition at their next appointment. Things like this work really well if you are trying to build clients in your chair. If you're trying to build your clientele, telling people to share your content gets your work out to people who might not have seen you or thought to book with you. And then it's very easy to give away a deep condition and a blowout, right? We already have those things in our back bar, and getting people to push your content out to their followers as well is one really big way to gain a lot of ground in that. Then you maybe focus on, you want people to save your content. So say, save this picture to show your hairstylist. They don't even have to be coming to you for that. Your content is still going to be engaged with and connected with without you ever having to go to people who actually see you. So these are people who maybe are just fans of your work, or someone who just likes the work you did, and maybe they're in a whole nother state or another country, but they're still saving your content and showing their hairstylist your work. So that is getting your work pushed out to plenty of other people who normally wouldn't see it. And then how do we know if this is working? Well, we know that we're going to, because we set up our Instagram page as a creator. And then we're going to our professional dashboard and we're following our analytics and our metrics. And then we're able to look back at the last month, 3 months, 6 months, whatever we've chosen, to see what content is really engaging our community of who we're trying to push it to. So is my content being shared? Is my content being saved? Is my content being commented on. And the whole idea of this is if it's not, we're able to look back and see why. Is it something that people are missing from us? Are we not giving them all of the information? Are our links not working on Instagram? So you always want to make sure that everything is working correctly. Your links, all of these things to make sure that you're able to read your analytics correctly. So your analytics, again, are telling you what people want to see from you, how they're engaging with you, and whether or not what you're showing is relevant to what they want. Now, when we're building our content, one of the things to think about again is who are we trying to talk to and why are we trying to talk to them? So, again, having a very clear picture on what our intent is going to help us build our social media content from there. And then the analytics is really where it's going to come in and help us focus a lot more on what we're doing and how we're doing it. Your analytics are going to help you see what you're doing and how people are receiving it. I always think how wonderful it is. It's kind of like a snapshot of time someone spent with you. So they're able to look and say, I really enjoyed this part from you, but that part I didn't really care about. And it may hurt to hear that. Maybe it's something we spent a lot of time creating and we really thought this video or this reel or this picture was going to get a lot of traction. I always tell us it's not up to us to decide what people value. It's up to the people to tell us what they value. So when we look at what they're engaging with, we can have a little bit of hurt feelings, especially if we worked hard on something. But really, the idea is to look and see this is what our community is telling us they want from us. And this is what is allowing us to build and create. Instagram has given us insight into what our community and the people we're trying to build on are wanting. So it's a really great tool to utilize. Again, that professional dashboard breaks everything down. One of the things I started doing when I noticed that my content was hitting a plateau. So, and when I say hitting a plateau, I mean I got to a certain amount of views, a certain amount of saves, a certain amount of likes, a certain amount of shares, and I wasn't really going past that. So it wasn't that it was performing bad, I just wasn't consistently performing above and beyond each time. So then I had to go back through and look at my analytics and say, what is happening? What are people looking at? What are they trying to tell me that I'm not hearing or receiving? And so if you go back through your analytics, I can see, on mine, what happened, I plateaued. I wasn't changing, but I wasn't dropping. And so to me, that's just as concerning because now if I've hit a plateau, I know that only a certain amount of people are following or watching. And what I had to do was figure out how to stay within the parameters of what the people who follow me were looking for, but get it to more people. So that's when I started to adjust my content ever so slightly and read my analytics and start to see what was it they were looking for. I realized I had stopped creating a call to action. So I had to go back to that call to action and ask people who were following me, save this, show this to your hairdresser. Again, those call to actions could be leave a comment, tag your hair bestie. So any of these things are considered a call to action. And I realized by looking through my analytics, I had stopped creating a call to action. And that's when my content plateaued. So you have to constantly be telling people how you want them to engage and interact with you, right? I think about if you go to Starbucks or your local coffee shop, even if they know you, they still ask you what you want that day. So even if I go into Starbucks every single day and order a basic vanilla latte, they're still going to ask me what I want. So they're telling me, hey, we need to know what type of cup to grab to put this content into the proper cup. Do you want your latte iced or hot? And I know that sounds silly, but it's the same thing we're doing with social media. We're just checking and seeing, hey, do you still want this content the same way we've been giving it to you? Or would you like to try something new? And I think that's where people get stuck. They find a formula and they don't want to stray from it. But if social media is ever evolving, our content has to be ever evolving. So maybe that means you use that trending audio that you don't like, but you're going to use it anyways. Maybe it means you're creating a call to action. It could feel uncomfortable to ask people to share or save, but is it more uncomfortable to ask someone for something and maybe they do it? Or is it more uncomfortable to stay quiet and never ask for it and never get what you want? I always think it's the risk is bigger in doing nothing than trying something and having it go wrong, right? So you want to make sure you're looking at your analytics consistently. You don't have to be obsessed with them every single day. I think once a week is a great set stepping stone. You start following it once a week, looking at your weekly content, and then from there you can start digging a little bit deeper. Again, the most important thing you can do, have your profile set to creator. Make sure that you're following that professional dashboard and reading those analytics and making sure that you're understanding and following Instagram's tips and tricks. They built it right into the professional dashboard. It's very easy to use and follow. They're essentially walking you through how they want you to post content. I always say, if Instagram is telling me this is what they're rewarding, I'm going to listen and I'm going to do that type of content because I want my content out and shared with the world. So because of that, I highly encourage all of you, again, set that Instagram profile to creator. Make sure you're tracking your analytics through the professional dashboard and make sure you're following Instagram's advice on what type of content they're looking for. There's also a really great in the inspiration, it goes through reels, audios, and accounts. So you can look at the inspiration a couple of different ways. The actual content that's being pushed, that would be under reels. The audio, again, that's going to be trending audio, stuff that's popping off, some stuff that's going viral, and then the types of accounts. So your accounts will be based on what you're posting and the type of followers they have, the type of content that they're posting based on you. So it will be different, just like everyone's algorithm is created uniquely to them. The accounts, audio, and reels will also be unique to you and what you're trying to do. So that inspiration tab in your analytics is extremely helpful. Best practices, again, you go into the best practices profile and it's going to give you a ton of ideas about creation, engagement, reach, monetization, and then down at the bottom, a lot of people miss the guidelines. So the guidelines is really telling you, like Instagram is saying, these are the rules we've set and this is how you play with us. And then you're able to create content based on that, knowing that it's going to be pushed by Instagram really well. I will say that when I follow Instagram's tips and tricks, that content gets the most views, the most engagement, the most interactions. There have been times where I ignore everything Instagram tells me that they're looking for, and I will post a video with a song that's not trending at all, but I love it, and it will still do well. Don't be so concerned that you have to only ever use trending audio and you have to only ever do a certain type of reel. You do not have to be doing the things that are going viral. You just have to be doing certain things in order to be pushed to the For You page. Now, the last thing I want to share with you is if this is all brand new to you, if you are thinking like, I don't even have a creator page and my Instagram page is private. Number one, set that thing to public. You want to make sure everyone who you want to see you can see you. If people constantly have to request to follow you, they're not going to follow you. The other thing is that Instagram cannot share private content. If your page is set to private, they cannot push your content to the For You page. So make sure your page is public. Make sure it's set as a creator and make sure you're looking at those analytics and how to read them. This is going to tell you again the best time to post your content, why and how your content is being delivered, who's engaging with it and how they're engaging with it, and then you can build all of your content off of that. Again, the dashboard is a tool. If you have any questions on Instagram dashboards, Instagram has made it super easy. There's even a FAQ down in your professional dashboard so you can look and see, is this question I'm having a question lots of other people have had? So I encourage you, go through your professional dashboard, get down into the nitty gritty, spend a lot of time looking at those analytics and what they are telling you, because they are telling you who's engaging with your content, what time they're engaging with it, and their preferred content from you. These are not things that we should ignore if we are trying to build our content. These are things that we should absolutely be paying attention to you or paying attention to because they're going to help you. The whole goal of Instagram is to push your content to the people who are searching for your content. And your professional dashboard is where you find all that information. So again, that the insights, you can change your views, your interactions. Views and interactions are two different things. And then you find all that information on the professional dashboard of your creator page. Make sure I'm not missing any questions in the chat. All right. That is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I know analytics are not always the most fun thing to discuss and talk about, but they are absolutely important and necessary in order to build your business and create the type of content and make sure it gets to the people that you want it to get to. So again, top 3 things. Make sure you are sharing as a creator, look at that professional dashboard and learn to read those analytics and make them work for you instead of against you. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Again, my name is Christy Miller. You can find me on Instagram at Christy Miller Hair, and I look forward to seeing you all later. Bye.